Okay. Who wants to make $500,000 in 2022? Okay, good answer. Good answer. So I'm going to show you how to do it today. Okay? So somebody answer this question for me. If I show you how to do it, yes, then the only reason that you don't do it is why?
Because we don't do it.
You don't really want to. So some of you just lied. I asked the question, who wants to make $500,000 in 2022? And everybody raised their hand. Now, I've done it. I actually did that times 13. So 2011, I made $6.5 million selling houses. I'm not saying that to big time you. I'm saying it, I can show you how to do it. So if I ask you who wants to do it and everybody says they do, then why wouldn't we? Because you just lied. You don't really want to do it. You wouldn't mind it happening to you, but you don't want to do it. Does that make sense? Who disagrees with that? Nobody disagrees with that concept? Okay, then we're on to something here. We're all in agreement right now. So I'm going to show you how to do it. You don't do it one way. That's crazy talk. You do it a number of different ways. You'll hear people talk about this in different ways. Verticals. Verticals are just different business lines that flow into you. Okay? You don't have to be king of the world at any one of them. Watch. All you need is 5. So, if you had a defined target audience, if you had one, and you said, this group of people, that's my thing, that's my specialty, that's my niche, and a certain amount of time every day, 5 days a week, is going to be dedicated to becoming the top of mind, credible expert with that group of people, 500 to 1,000 people. If you did that, just like this is fantasy time game, okay? If you did that, is it reasonable that you could sell 1 house a month? If you focused a couple hours every day just on this group of people, Philip, I'm just focusing on my neighborhood, Martin's Landing, not Farton's Landing, Martin's Landing, every day for 2.5 hours, 5 days a week. I'm going to spend 12 to 15 hours a week just focused on that group of people. Could you generate 1 transaction a month? That's reasonable. Okay, great. You make on average $10,000 per deal. Sometimes more, sometimes a little bit less. These days, not often much less, sometimes much more. But $10,000 per deal. All you got to do is 10, and you generated $100,000 off that vertical. Make sense? Does it sound undoable? You would have to define your target audience, like actually be able to say it in a way that made some kind of sense to people like me. Like, oh, okay, that's good. And then you would have to implement the strategy that's appropriate for that group of people. That's what you would do for that 2.5 hours every day. Does anybody think that if they did that, they wouldn't generate 1 deal a month? Okay. Networking. Watch, none of these are going to cost you any money. None of them are going to cost you $1. If you got involved with 1 or more networking groups and you became involved, participatory, not just attend, but like part of the fabric of the organization, and you got involved in that every week, and a part of every day was spent connecting with the people in that networking group. If you did that, let's say you spent an hour a day, constant contact campaign with people in that networking group. Is it likely or unlikely that over the next 12 months you would generate 10 referrals?
Likely.
Likely? Does anybody feel like that's too much? It's unlikely? If you were doing it every day, not every once in a while, every day, and an hour every day was dedicated to that, could you generate 1 referral a month? Okay, there's another $100,000. You all have a sphere of influence. Friends and family, people you know all over the planet. We just don't do a very good job of staying in contact with them. You know, the latest number that's out by NAR says that 92% of all consumers said after closing that their real estate agent actually did a very good job for them. 92%. And you know less than 15% of those agents stay in regular contact with the person that thought they actually did a good job for them. Now, is that a special kind of crazy or what? Do people actually like you, appreciate you, think you did a good job, but you're never going to talk to them again? I don't know. I don't understand it either. But what if you did implement a constant contact campaign with all the people on the planet that already know you, so that you were very top of mind, that you had connectivity with them, you were sticky with all these people, right? Not somebody that I used to know and I haven't spoken with in 5 years. I'm going back and getting sticky with all those people. And I got so many tools to do it with now. I got social media. I can do it. I can use Facebook Messenger. I can use Twitter. I can get individual things. I can like and comment on their post. They can be getting mine. I can be sending them I saw Philip sending out handwritten notes this morning. I could, the unthinkable. I could call them every once in a while and say, hey, Yasleen, what up? I could. What if I did that for an hour a day? What if I did that for an hour a day? For an hour every day, I reached out to all the people that I know on the planet and tried to stay in contact with them. And 1 hour a day, I'll work on my networking. And 2.5 hours a day, I'll work on my target audience. It's not even lunchtime yet. Make sense? Who's not with me so far? This is a chance. It's okay. I won't bite your head off. Probably. We have a company lead generation program. I'm generating hundreds of referral opportunities every month. Hundreds. We just keep ramping it up more and more and more because it works good. And we have, as of right now, we have 113 agents affiliated with our company. And there are 12 who are lead eligible this morning. Think about it, 10%. What about the other 90? I guess they don't want them. They don't want them. We had 14, and 2 of them can't respond to the lead opportunities within a reasonable period of time, so they're deactivated this week. The other 98 to 100, I guess they don't want them. But what if you did, and what if you spent 1 hour a day contacting them and following up with your past ones? Because this is a process. I know what we want. I know I'm you. I get it. I'm right there with you. We want to call somebody and they go, oh, Casey, I'm so glad you called me. I mean, we've seen this house. We really like it. Would you be willing to come over and show it to us? Yeah, let me squeeze you in. I mean, I've got, I'm not quite dressed yet, and then I've got a lunch thing today with a friend, but let me squeeze you in when I can. And then we look at the house and he's like, oh, we love it. We need to put an offer in. And that's what you want it to be. But the truth is, he's probably not going to buy a house for another year. And now, as a salesperson, I have to be okay with that because I'm not getting him to buy a house until he's ready to buy a house. And so I just put him into my constant contact follow-up campaign. And Casey and I are just going to become buddies. And over the course of time, I'm going to become his real estate agent. But some of you are doing this. I'd be glad to show you the home. I just need you to call my lender and get pre-qualified. And if you're doing that shit, you aren't selling a house to anybody. There will be a time for him to get pre-qualified with the lender, but it isn't right now. That is not what he wants. Despite all the classes you've took, you are introducing the lender way too early into the conversation. But what if I spend an hour every day? Now, some of you, I'd say half the room right now is already tuning out. You've already gone, oh, okay, let's start thinking about when I get out of here, because this is more of the same. Yeah, I'm talking about going to work every day. And you're so desperately trying to figure out how to make that top number without having to go to work every day, you are. And I don't know. If you figure that out, let me know. I'd be fascinated to hear it. But unless you're a member of the Lucky Sperm Club, I don't know what to tell you. What if you spent an hour a day contacting the leads and following up with the ones you've previously gotten? Because you know it's going to take a long time. And you're just building a pipeline. Or a year from now, you're going to be feeling the same thing you feel today. Lost, bewildered, uncertain. Why aren't I doing better? Why are some people doing better than me? I don't understand. I understand. I understand. You're not doing any of this shit. What if you did? So far we got 2.5, 3.5, 4.5, 5.5 hours. Oh shit. I don't know. How long is your workday? Don't say it out loud. Just think for a second, really, how long is your workday? How many hours a day do you work? Most of you don't know. I know. I get here about 7:30, 7:45 in that range, and I'll be here till about 6:30. So my workday is what? About 11 and a half hours. 10 and a half, 11 hours. Every day, 5 days a week. That's 55, 60 hours a week. Some of you aren't even working part-time. So there's no way you can do this. But we're only at 5.5 hours and we haven't spent $1. We haven't spent $1. And agents all over Atlanta out spending half or more of their income to generate business. And we're talking about, we haven't even worked a full day yet and we haven't spent $1. But you're talking about making a lot of money. Do you think that people that make that kind of money are serious people? Do you think, now watch, this is being recorded, so here you go. Do you think they're fucking around every day? No. Do you think they're acting like they own a business and they're running it and they're serious and they're trying to do something? So you can't really sit here and say, I want to make $500,000 next year and not be that person. Can you? Those two things don't go together. The fifth way is what we're talking about today, if I ever get around to it. It's FSBOs and expireds. It's FSBOs and expireds. Now, I'm not saying this has to be your thing. It doesn't have to be your target audience. But what if you spent 1 hour every day reaching out to the for sale by owners and the expired listings that are within 5 miles of where you live? And once you've made contact, reached out to all of them, then you go back and follow up with all the ones that you've spoken to previously. And you do things like you call all of them in your area 5 days a week, not when you feel like it, because this is a job. This is a job. It's not a hobby that you do when you feel like it. After you speak to them, you text them a short video. And then you go connect with them on social media. And then you send them a mailing every week. And then you call them every week. And you introduce them to the Easy Sell program to see if that'll work for them. And then, since they're within 5 miles of where you live, you just stop and knock on the door. I used to do this on Saturday mornings. It works great on Saturday mornings. You just stop and do a door knock. Hey, it's Mike. We've spoken a couple times on the phone. I was just in the area. Thought I'd stop by and let you put a face to a voice. Here, I've got an appointment. I've got to run. Here's my card if I can ever be of help. And the reason you do that is you just humanized yourself. You just went from being a voice on the telephone to a human being, and that's a whole different thing to people. I will give people hand signals on Georgia 400 today. I will. Don't cut me off. I'll honk, and when you look in your mirror, I have a special message for you. But I don't do that to people live in person. I don't do it standing in line at the grocery store. Do you? No, because one is a car and the other one's a human being. And you treat human beings differently when they're in front of you than you do when they're in a car. If I spend an hour a day, 5 days a week doing this, could I generate, what, linear, you tell me, could I generate one listing a month? If I did this 5 days a week for 1 hour every single day, could I get one listing a month?
If the follow-up's good.
Okay. So I've just generated $100,000 from FSBOs, $100,000 from company lead program, $100,000 from my friends and family, $100,000 from the networking group that I'm part of, and $100,000 from my target audience, and I am now put in 6.5 hours a day. Well, where's the other? Now look, some of you, like, that's more than you're working right now. I know. That's why you're not making $500,000 a year. The reason why you're not, why don't I have arms that look like Jay? Because I don't do the shit she does every day, right? Well, if I did, could I have arms like Jay?
Something close, yeah.
Something close. The fact is, I don't put the work in. Why don't you make $500,000 a year? Don't miss it. It's real simple. You just don't put the work in. I've got 6.5 hours a day. Now, what do I do with the other 3 or 4 hours? Because if you think if you want to make $500,000 a year, you got to tell me you're willing to work about 10 hours a day, 5-6 days a week. If you're not willing to do that, it's your life. You get to decide. Just don't say crazy things like I want to make $500,000 a year, because you don't have much skill. You don't have a lot of training and education. What makes you different? What's the average person in Atlanta, Georgia make a year? Does anybody know?
About 40K.
Listen to that. That's about right. It's a little bit higher than that, between $40,000 and $50,000 a year. The average household income's under $85,000. And you want to make $500,000? Yeah, me too. Well, then you can't be average, can you? Average people don't make that. That's why they're called average. Mediocre people don't make that. That's why they're called mediocre. Now, don't raise your hand or anything, but just think about you. Are you average? Are you mediocre? In this industry, I don't think you could even call yourself that. I don't think you're not even working 40 hours a week, and I'm telling you probably have to work 55 to 60. I'm not one of these people that's doing a seminar on how to become a millionaire real estate agent and not even have to do anything. That's gross manipulation. That's a lie. It's bullshit. Go take those classes if you want to, but they're all bullshit. I know the people that are teaching them. Todd Walters, you were listening, Todd? You are so full of shit. Mike Costigan, anybody want to know this guy? Yeah, Mike, I'm talking about you, you asshole. Anybody know this guy?
Sends emails every day?
Yeah.
Every day. What's the email? What's his message?
To be a REO broker.
Because there's an avalanche of REOs coming your way. It's a lie. There is not. There's none, and there's about to be fewer than none. There's zero. You lying motherfucker. Why are they lying to you? Because they don't know any better? No, they know better. They're trying to get your credit card number. They're shysters. They know what you want to believe, that I can make a lot of money and not have to do that much. Because I'm me. Don't you know how cute I am? Haven't you seen my shoes? They know you want to believe that I can go pick the kids up at carpool and make $500,000 a year. No, you can't. Cut that shit out. Now, if you don't want to work hard, don't work hard, sweetie pie. But get over the fantasies. It ain't going to happen. The average real estate agent in Atlanta makes less than $40,000 a year, and that's the average, and some of us aren't even average. Now, chew on that, because that's the truth. If you did this, you got 6.5 hours in here. I think you got about another 3 to 3.5 hours to go every day. What would you do? You would service the business. Watch. I want to show you the ratio. In the other 3 hours a day, you would service the business that you generate from here. Notice we haven't talked about showing homes or going on listing appointments or closing processes and amendments and inspections. We haven't talked about any of that. And that, what we have talked about, is 6.5 hours to 3 to 3.5 hours. It's a 2-to-1 ratio. I'm spending twice as much time generating business as I am servicing the business. And some of us are doing the exact opposite. Some of us are spending 99% of our time over here and 1% or less over here. And that's why you ain't making any money. Don't miss it. It's not a secret. I don't understand. I'm getting so frustrated. Jay has to send me reports every week. So number one comment I see in his coaching session, I'm so frustrated. You don't work! You don't work. You don't have the right to be frustrated. I'm so frustrated. I don't have arms like you do. I don't work out. It's not a secret. I go home and eat ice cream. She goes to the gym twice a day. She's got biceps. I don't. It's no big secret. It's not crazy. The crazy is to say, well, I want arms like you, but I don't want to do all that shit. That's too hard. Well, that's crazy. 2-to-1 ratio. You spend 2-to-1. The 2 is business development time. Is this. You spend 6.5 hours doing this. If you do this, you probably will make $500,000 or more. You spend twice as much time each day on business development as you do on servicing the business that you've, hey, showing homes to people. Let's just get over ourselves for a second, okay? You're just an Uber driver with a lockbox key. That's all you is. You ain't nothing more than that. There is no skill in showing homes. They're finding the homes and telling you which homes they want to see. So don't tell me this stuff. Those of you that have said this to me need to quit saying this stuff out loud. Well, what are you doing today? Oh, I'm trying to find them homes. Oh my God, that's what you're spending time on? They don't want you to find them the home. They want to find the home. They want you to Uber over and unlock it for them. And by the way, could you keep your mouth shut in the process? Because I really don't want to hear your opinions. Oh, I've got deals that are in trouble. I'm trying to save my deals. You ain't saving no deals. Ooh, that's pissing somebody off right now. I just touched their nerve. You aren't saving any deals. All bets are won or lost on the first tee box. You wrote a bad contract and you can't do too much about it right now. You got an unmotivated buyer or seller, you ain't fixing that. You got a bad lender? You probably don't. You have a bad home buyer who's not providing. Hey, look, can we just get this bullshit out of the way? The lenders are just like you and me. They don't get paid if you don't close. So for all of you that think that the lenders are dumb, stupid, and lazy, no, they're not. Just like you're not dumb, stupid, or lazy. You're just not going to spend a lot of time with unmotivated, unqualified people. Guess what? They're not either. All those loan applications go in a special little file, and the the title on that file is, we work on this shit if and when we get time, because it probably ain't going to close. I'm working on the stuff that I think can close. You have a bad home buyer. You don't have a bad lender. They're just like you. He ain't getting paid if it doesn't close. For sale by owners and expired listings, look, you don't have to pound out 3 hours of cold calls every day. Just talk to the people that are within 5 miles of where you live and be nice to them. What would I say? I would do it, but I'm not sure what to say. Manuela, ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, Manuela, this is Mike with Century 21 here in Roswell, and I was just calling to see if when you might be interviewing agents for the job of selling your home.
I'm not.
You're not?
No.
Okay. Other than saving money, can I ask why?
That's pretty much it.
You save money? Okay. How's your experience gone so far?
Good.
Good. And when you do sell this house, where will you move next?
Oh, we have a second home already, so we're gonna make that our primary home.
Good for you. Where is that, here in the area?
It's up in the mountains.
Oh, you're going to move to the mountains.
Yeah.
Can I come go with you?
No.
No? Okay, great. Hey, if for some reason the house doesn't sell at some point in the future, might you consider hiring an agent?
I might.
Okay. Would you mind if I just reached out every once in a while, or maybe if I had a prospect, I could reach out to you? Would that be okay?
Sure.
Okay, great. Hey, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
But she's not listing her house with me. She's not going to list her house with me today. Your buyer leads, they're not going to buy a house with you today. You're crazy. Like, everybody say it after me. I'm crazy. Right. That's not going to happen. But if she doesn't sell her, she's probably got some artificial deadline in her head, and she's giving herself until that, what might it be? Until after the first of the year. Until spring. I don't know. It doesn't matter, because I got her and I got a dozen other people too. I'm not crazy. She's crazy. You ain't selling that house. I mean, statistically possible, but very unlikely. Okay? So, but does that make you want to change your mind, what I just told you?
No.
No, it does not. I could tell her anything. She believes what she believes, and she's going to believe it until when? Until the day she doesn't believe it anymore. Gosh, I guess I can't sell the house myself. Or it's probably her spouse that's going, okay, enough. Now we need to sell the house. So let's hire an agent. And when that day comes, and statistically 94% of the time it does come, when the deadline gets here or they've just had enough. God, we do this every day. Watch. She thinks she can sell the house herself, right? Nationally, we have a 30.1% contract failure rate. 30% of all contracts do not close. Here in our office, it's 41%. 41% of all the deals we have under contract in December will not close. Wow. And it's 30% nationally. And we do this for a living. We're professionals. She's an amateur. So if those are our odds, what's her odds? It's got to be much higher. Is it possible she sells it and closes? Possible. But after she's had about 3 buyers back out on her, just like you do, is she going to get a tad frustrated? Mm-hmm. And all I need to do is be nurturing around. So I had the conversation with you. Now I'm going to send you a little text video. Hey, Manuela, thanks for taking the time to talk to me today. Good luck with your house. See, I'm not closing her. You don't close people anymore. I'm going to, Manuela Davis. How many Manuela Davises could there be in Facebook? I don't know. Are there more than one? There are? How many are there?
I don't know, but there's one more in Georgia.
There's what?
One more in Georgia.
There's one more. Then I'm going to friend request both of you. I get 5,000. Who cares? The other person might luck up and be something. Why do you care? Friend request all of them. I'm going to send you something in the mail every week. What? I don't know. Use your brain. Use your creativity. I'm going to call you every week. It would help if I had a reason to call you. Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, Manuel, it's Mike over at Century 21. You know, I forgot to bring up in our conversation last week that we have an easy sell program. It doesn't cost you anything. There's no obligation on your part, and it works a lot. Can I tell you just a little bit about it?
Sure.
Okay, that's a reason to call her. And then when I'm in the area, because she's within 5 miles of where I live, I'm just going to stop and knock on her door and say, hey, I've been bugging you on the phone a lot. I was just driving by. I thought I'd stop and introduce myself. I got to run. Can I leave my card? If I can ever help, just holler at me. I just want her to see I have all my teeth. That's all I'm trying to do. I'm not a crazy whack job. If you are, don't do this, okay? But I'm not. I just want her to see that. What if I did that for an hour every day? Lanier, Worrell, you guys do this. If I did it for an hour a day, and after I made my first attempt calls, I did all this stuff with the people I'd been talking to. Could I get one listing a month could I get 10 over the course of a year? You think I could? Why couldn't I? Why aren't you? I baited him right into that, didn't I? Right now he's going, I knew I shouldn't have done that. Why aren't you? Yeah, you do. I don't know what 13-year-olds say. Why aren't you?
I just get it in my own head.
What's that mean?
I want results faster than I've seen them, so I get into my own head. And
Do you do all this stuff every day?
all of it? No.
No. Lanier, do you do all this stuff every day? Why?
Different day, different excuse.
So I'm going to tell you why I didn't. I don't know why you don't. This is why I didn't. I wasn't willing to give up on the fantasy that I didn't have to. Because there's so much bullshit. It's actually not your fault. This is one thing I won't blame you for. I'll blame you for just about everything else. There's a philosophy that all of us right now, you're not going to like this, but everybody is exactly where you want to be in your life. You are. You chose that by your daily actions. But this is what I'm going to let you off the hook with, because our industry pushes so much bullshit at you, and it is good bullshit, and I really want to believe it, that I don't have to do all this every day, and I can still get what I want. Maybe I won't get 500, maybe I'll only get 350, but 350 is still pretty good. If you don't do this stuff all day, I don't know what you'll get. You might not get anything. But if you did it all every day, for you not to get these results would mean this. It would mean that you are the worst salesperson in Atlanta, Georgia. That you are horrible. That you suck. And none of you do. You don't suck. You might be new, you might be inexperienced, you might lack some skills, but you overcome all of that. You overcome every obstacle in your life, no matter what you think it is, by doing the work. And the work overcomes everything. It overcomes your inexperience. It overcomes your lack of verbal skills. It overcomes your lack of people skills. Some of you suck with people. Some of you are very good with people. You do the work, it won't matter. Hey, look at me. It doesn't matter. If you do the work, you can overcome all your deficiencies. I did. I don't have any education. Soft skills are what we call people skills. How are my soft skills? Go ahead, this is your chance. Jay, how are my soft skills? Not very soft. You do the work, you can overcome it. You can overcome everything that you know about yourself that you don't like, everything that you're insecure about. But you got to do the work, folks. And if you don't do the work, I got no answer for you. 2-to-1 ratio. Make sense? Let's go to work.